if we don't take care of what we're getting rid of, we will definitely run out of space.
Natural resources are being depleted everywhere, and if we don't start doing a better job recycling products like glass and plastics and paper, our kids and people in the future are really not going to have anything to speak of.
While our landfill space continues to decrease, the volume of rubbish that we create does not. The good news is, Brecksville has a recycling service that reclaims and reuses much of that rubbish, and it's free. What could be greener than that?
My personal trash consumption has gone down by half when I started recycling, and that makes me feel better on a weekly basis.
Recycling takes very little time and effort for each of us, but together, all of our individual efforts add up to make a very big difference in the beauty and health of our community. Just by following a few simple steps, we are all part of the growing number of people committed to a greener, smarter Brecksville.
I'm very proud to live in a city that wins awards for its recycling program year after year. I can't think of anything that isn't accepted, and I have full confidence that it's going to go where it needs to go and not in the landfill.
Let's begin with the basics. First, take note of the recycling schedule. Remember, while rubbish is collected every week, recycling is collected only twice a month. But for our convenience, it is scheduled on the same day of the week as our rubbish collection. Let's look at a typical monthly calendar. If rubbish is collected on Mondays or Wednesdays, recycling happens on the first and third weeks of the month. If rubbish is picked up on Tuesdays or Thursdays, recycling is scheduled on the second and fourth weeks. And if the regularly scheduled recycling day falls on a holiday, both rubbish and recycling pickups are delayed by a day. For collection, recycling should be contained in blue bags or neatly bundled, set at the curb, and separated at least 6 feet from rubbish containers. All recycling items should be curbside by 7:30 a.m. the day of pickup and placed there no sooner than 6 p.m. the prior evening. Be sure to check your City of Brecksville calendar for seasonal services such as yard waste, leaf pickup. For rules and regulations about regular rubbish collection, click on this link. To save you time and effort, the rules have been simplified for recycling glass bottles, jars, cans, and plastic bottles. All these items should be placed in one common blue bag, either 13 or 30-gallon sizes, available at Heinen's, Giant Eagle, and other outlet stores. It is not necessary to look for a number on plastic bottles. Continue to use the small blue bags you get at the grocer's checkout for newspapers and magazines. It is very important not to mix the newspapers with the magazines. These items should be tied into separate bundles and placed in brown paper or blue plastic grocery bags. Please be careful to remove other containers such as tissue and food boxes and discard them as rubbish. Remember, no cups, trays, webbing, flower pots, or styrofoam should be placed in recycle bags. These are considered regular rubbish. Also, please avoid plastic bags filled with empty plastic bags. Also, make sure you keep the bottles and cans separate from the newspapers and magazines.
We recycle because it's the right thing to do. You know, it just seems like it's the appropriate thing to do for your neighborhood, for your city, for the country, for whatever. You know, and Brecksville just makes it so easy to do it.
Here's a quick rundown of other common items that can be recycled. Corrugated cardboard can be recycled if the boxes are collapsed, stacked, flattened, and tied securely. The only exception to this rule applies to large appliance boxes, which may be broken down and laid flat without tying.
It seems like everything we use can be recycled. Perhaps all of us should take a second look at what we put into our trash.
Automotive products such as oil, solvents, antifreeze, and batteries must be in plain view. Be sure to label and secure automotive liquids in plastic bottles with threaded lids. Pop-off lids will not be accepted. Propane tanks, full or empty, will also be collected if they are located with your recycling and not with your general rubbish. You can also bring automotive and propane recyclable items to the City Service Department Saturdays from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m.
We have to recycle, and the water bottles are a terrific example. They are in the landfills forever and ever and ever.
As we all know, mercury is poisonous and should be handled properly. The Brecksville Recycling Program allows participants to recycle mercury and mercury-containing devices for free. The program encourages proper mercury disposal, thereby reducing the amount of mercury going to landfills, sewers, or directly to the environment. To dispose of mercury thermometers and thermostats, place them in a tightly sealed plastic bag and bring to the recycling center on Saturdays only from 9 a.m. until noon. Please hand deliver to the attendant. Do not put these items out for recycling on the street. If you have questions concerning mercury disposal, please contact the service department at 526-2643.
We replaced a home computer about a year or so ago, and the previous one went up to the city one Saturday morning.
Don't forget, your old computers and cell phones can be recycled. Residents can drop off old computers, peripherals, and cell phones to the Brecksville Service Department on Saturdays only from 9 a.m. until 12 noon. This collection is in conjunction with the Cuyahoga County Solid Waste District Computer Roundup program.
You can take your medical waste, such as syringes and other items that you might have that you're not going to be using, and you can pack them properly and put them at the curbside for pickup.
When disposing of sharp objects and contaminated materials used in administering healthcare, be sure to follow these important steps. Place needles, syringes, lancets, and other sharp objects in a hard plastic container, such as a laundry detergent jug or a metal container with a screw-on cap or tightly secured lid. Before discarding the container, also be sure to reinforce the lid with heavy-duty tape. Do not put sharp objects in any container you plan to recycle. Containers with sharp objects are not recyclable. It is also important to label these sharps containers, not for recycling. This will help to protect workers and others from possible injury. Additional information about medical waste can be found on the internet at the following site, EPA Medical Waste Program. There are also some easy disposal steps for over-the-counter medications. If the pharmacy will not accept unwanted medications, keep the medication in its original child-proof packaging and black out any personal information, including your insurance provider, on the label. Securely package the unwanted medicine in your trash, out of the reach of small children and animals.
We had a bunch of paint cans sitting in the garage that needed to be taken to the garbage, and instead of throwing them in a garbage can and having them go to the dump, in Brecksville you can just put them right on the curb and the recycle guys come and pick them up and take them and have them recycled.
Paints come in several types, but for recycling purposes, we'll refer to them as latex and non-latex. For latex paint you wish to discard, let the paint solidify in the paint can and place it curbside with your regular rubbish. Non-latex paints can be harmful, so it's important to keep them sealed in their can and brought to the service department on Saturday morning. Residents are welcome to come to the service yard to use paint that is being held for their own use. This is only on a first-come, first-served basis.
Whenever I have any questions about recycling, I'll either call the service department or I'll check on the website for the city, and they'll be able to give me the information that I need as far as why I can and cannot recycle.
For disposal of major appliances and large metal items, please call 526-1384 or 526-2643. Your address will be placed on a list for special collection. These collections take place every Friday with the exception of holidays. Items for this special Friday collection include refrigerators, freezers, dehumidifiers, single-room air conditioners, ranges, washers, dryers, water tanks, metal bathtubs, riding mowers, garage door openers, metal cabinets, steel drums, and certain other large amounts of metal or large metal items. Bicycles not needing repairs may be left on Saturdays. They will be donated to low-income families through Goodwill. The Service Department welcomes your calls if you are uncertain about the regulations for the correct disposal of any item. The City of Brecksville cannot accept central air conditioning units discarded with your rubbish nor dropped off at our Service Department recycling area if they have not been removed and tagged by an EPA licensed technician. The disposal of central air conditioning units is strictly regulated by federal and state law.
Is it true that grass clippings and yard waste are recyclable?
Now the subject that everyone is waiting for. Yes, yard waste is part of the regular rubbish collection and recycle schedule. Collectible yard waste includes waste from ongoing yard maintenance of lawns, shrubs, bushes, and tree trimmings. Large trees or logs having a trunk diameter exceeding 6 inches do not qualify as yard waste and must be disposed of by the homeowner, landscaper, or tree removal service. Trees or limbs 3 inches in diameter or less must be cut in lengths of 6 foot maximum and bundled without roots. Tie bundles securely at each end with twine only. Limbs or tree parts 4 inches to 6 inches in diameter may be neatly stacked and not bundled. Recyclable yard waste includes grass cuttings, bushes, shrub and tree branch trimmings, leftover leaves or weeds from the previous fall, or small trees that are cut up and tied in 6-foot bundles. Each bundle must not exceed 50 pounds. Grass cuttings, leaves, weeds, and twigs must be placed in biodegradable yard waste 30-gallon paper bags only. No other material or container will be accepted. These grass leaf bags will be collected for recycling on your regular rubbish day from March 21st to October 27th. Grass clippings can be a plentiful source of mulch for your garden or lawn. Leaving these clippings on the lawn rather than bagging benefits your lawn and is an excellent way to reduce waste. Mulching works best when the grass is cut into small pieces. Grass should be cut when it is 1.5 to 2.5 inches long, and the clipping should be less than 1 inch long for faster decomposition. Contrary to popular belief, grass clippings do not cause thatch. Thatch is that dead and dying layer of plant parts that accumulates above the soil surface. Regularly leaving grass clippings on the lawn actually helps to reduce thatch problems. It also makes mowing easier and returns nutrients and organic matter to the soil so that the lawn will need less water and fertilizer. Before you stop bagging your grass clippings, remove any thatch from your lawn so grass clippings can filter down to the soil.
This is Brecksville, and it's my home, and I'm proud of it.
We need you to recycle now so we can have a nice place in the future.
This is recyclable. Let's use it. Let's recycle it.
Brecksville is our city, a beautiful setting for our homes and businesses. If we all do our part, we will keep Brecksville beautiful now and help ensure that it will continue to grow greener and more beautiful for our children and our children's children.